foreman in his natural habitat with the sales rep. Running through the job, first day. It's gonna be a super cool one. Water feature, landscaping.
So this week, the project we're working on, we're gonna be having to pump this waterfall over on this side. The basin, end of the waterfall will start about here. We're gonna have it kind of meandering up. We're gonna have the waterfall coming up, starting about this area, about hip height, maybe a little bit lower, and kind of crashing down, and then have a nice little lazy river through here, and then having one more fall go down into our reservoir, just so they could see it from the patio next to their house and their living room. Also out here, we're gonna be ripping out some plants. Over here, we have some boxwoods that we're gonna rip out the back row of them. We got some other plants that we're gonna be ripping out. Adding some fresh plants on the back side over here. We got some more plants going around the oaks. Adding sod in places, making the beds, because the beds are a little bit too big, so we're gonna be shortening some of the beds up on this side, the back of the property. More plants I'm ripping out on the other side, and then the front yard, we have a camellia bed that we're just gonna do a bunch of camellias in one of the beds up there. All right, so today we're gonna be working on bringing all the rocks from the driveway back to our little holding area. I like to have all the rocks spread out, so when I go to find a rock, I can see all the rocks laid out and find out what rock fits best in that position where I'm gonna be using. So on this size waterfall, you wanna make sure you have the right equipment. Some of these boulders are pushing over 1,500 pounds. So you definitely wanna have the right machinery to be able to pick them up, strap them up. You can't just roll those rocks around by hand. Like right now, they're bringing 2, 3, 4-man boulders back here with our Bobcat that lifts up about 1,000 pounds. So right now we're putting the Aqua Blocks together. See, I've already put mine together. These guys are still working on them. Rookies. This small version holds 17 gallons per Aqua Block. You can use these for all different kinds of applications. So these are basically going to create a void space underground where you won't see, just to hold. It's going to be like a reservoir to hold the water, so whenever you turn the waterfall off, you have somewhere to store the water. So you won't have the mosquito issue, you won't have the evaporation issue when the water's off because it's all underground. You also could use these for a bog or a wetland. There's all kinds of different applications for these guys. So basically you want to you have braces on the inside that kind of support the weight. So if you put a certain amount of gravel on top of this, it can hold a 1,500 pound rock without crushing them. So this is the pump's waterfall vault. This is where your pump will be housed. You're going to have it set a little bit lower than all your Aqua Blocks. Your Aqua Blocks will be sitting at this height, so you get all the usage out of each 17 gallons out of each one of these Aqua Blocks. Because if the pump sits at the same level, you're always going to have about 4 to 6 inches of water that'll accumulate on the bottom that you won't be able to suck out with the pump. So this is just one of many roots that I had to take out of here. Where I put that vault in, where I actually put the whole base, the Aqua Blocks, everything, I had to go down about 2 feet. Yeah, it was about 2 feet. And I had roots, nothing but roots, all going towards that thing. So I had to rip all of those out. I mean, I try to stay at least 15 feet away from trees if I have to rip roots out, just to actually not kill the trees. So as you see, we got the waterfall running today. For the rest of the day, we're gonna go ahead and start working on tucking around the stream, finishing off the basin. So we've got it running now. Down here, I have about 150 to 200 gallon reservoir. As you see, I did three different looking waterfalls. I have a sheet waterfall, which rocks, if you have a flat edge where the edge just ends and drops straight down, you're gonna get that sheet effect. Now, if the rock is more rounded, the water is gonna trace that rock and follow it. So as you see right here, I mean, it's kind of just following the rock going down, kind of crotching in there, making a different noise than this sheet. And it's a whole different look too. Then I got a little bit of a stream bed going up. And then we got the Mac Daddy waterfall at the top. Now, this is all one rock here. I mean, this rock shoots all the way over to here. I mean, it had this natural notch out of the rock, so I framed it on one side, brought another big rock on the other side to frame it. I actually have a 1-watt uplight down here that will shine and light up this whole waterfall at nighttime. Now, if you don't like exactly how it looks, you could always use some gravel and make the waterfall look a little bit different by using a little bit of gravel or smaller rocks or whatever you want to adjust the waterfall a little bit. Up there I have a spillway, which you can't see, which is a good thing. I mean, because a spillway is a box about this big, about that deep, that we disguise with rocks on top of it and bring the soil and earth up to the rocks, so it looks like it's coming out of the hillside. This is my favorite rock by far. Look how beautiful the character is on that. If I didn't have to go back to work after this, I'd be laying down in there right now. Another thing that we have down here is we have the vault where the pump is housed. You won't be able to see the pump unless I take all the gravel out and lift the whole vault up. But right here, you can see the check valve. So the check valve doesn't allow any water to flow back down into the pump. So if you have anything in line, like a piece of gravel or anything like that, it won't go back into the pump and ruin that impeller whenever you turn it off and then turn it back on. So it prevents all that. Another thing that the check valve is good for is when you have it in a pond, you actually don't want your biofall, which we put in ponds. We don't put those in waterfalls. You don't need them in a pondless waterfall. You don't want all your water to drain out of your biofall to kill all your bacteria and all your good bacteria up in the biofalls. So that's what the purpose of that is. Easily just disguise it with some gravel. A lot better than putting a big rock right here and then you have to take that big rock up every time and move it out of the way. So I just do it with some gravel, easy to move out of the way. And also there's a remote on this thing. Because you don't have to keep this thing running 24/7. Say you go out of town for a couple weeks and you're sitting inside, sitting on your couch. Oh, let's go ahead and turn the thing off. Turns off. So then you have that reservoir down below. So all that water that's in the stream will go down to that reservoir and store down your reservoir. Also, you have the capability of cranking it up and down. So this pump is a 4,000 to 8,000 gallons per hour. So at one, you're at 4,000 gallons per hour. And it has 10 different settings as you go through there. So if you want a little bit more quiet, and you're sitting out relaxing and you just want a little peaceful sound, put it at 1. If you want to crank that sucker up to 8,000 gallons per hour, just crank it up to 10. And basically what that does, it puts more electricity in the pump or less electricity to the pump. So if you want to save a little bit of money too, you can crank that thing down. And then the variety of plants we have out here, we got some shishi camellias. These stay a little bit smaller for you. We got a beautiful Japanese maple that will eventually start growing over this water feature, which would be awesome, having that canopy kind of growing over. It's gonna be a dwarf variety, it's not gonna get too tall. In the backdrop, we have the red shrimp plants. Those will get nice and bushy, be nice and full. Over on this side, we got some oak leaf hydrangeas that could take the shade. And then in the back side, we have the viburnums. That'll be a nice privacy from their neighbor. Over on this side, we got a beautiful weeping redbud. This thing's gonna get massive, beautiful. And then over on this side, we got a little fan palm, some more shishi camellias. And then we got some shell gingers back there, variegated shell gingers. And then over on this side, we have the dwarf podocarpus, so these won't get too tall. Most podocarpus you think of are Japanese yew, they get humongous. These are the dwarf variety. And then we have some camellias in the back. There'll be a nice backdrop behind the fire pit. And then over there in the distance, we got more of the dwarf podocarpus. We got some of the sunshine ligustrum. So as you see, we had to put all new sod through here. I mean, bringing that 30 yards of dirt and 6-7 tons of rock, I mean, you're gonna make a mess. So bringing my machine in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and plus all the rain and mud, I tore this whole area up. So we had to rip all this old grass and mud and everything out of here. And today we put, what, how many pallets? 6 pallets of sod through here. So we got 6 pallets through here and made some of the beds smaller because he didn't like how big the beds were. So we kind of shrank up some of the bed areas with some more sod. Pratt guys actually referred us to this job. As you see, they have one of their beautiful cabanas behind us. They did a fire pit area. I mean, we do all that stuff as well. The only thing we really don't do is we don't do the woodwork like Pratt guys. So we bring Pratt guys in whenever we have jobs for it. But they referred us to this job. They wanted to have a little bit of landscape and they wanted a water feature. And who else to bring in besides us? I mean, we're the best around. So as you see, I mean, look at this beautiful water feature. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Earthworks Jacks. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, and go ahead and comment below.